Keeping your life organized is hard. It feels like one big juggling act, where you have to balance all kinds of things, from work, to sleep, to finances, to friends and family. You might have wished you could have 1,000 lives, so you could do all the things you want to do, but you only have one life. This video will go over a 5-step guide to help you organize your life so you have time for the things you want. Step 1. Figure out the habits or tasks that you must do every day. This is something you should set time to do every day, unless something comes up. No matter how busy life gets, you will find a way to get the things here done. How many hours of sleep you get is also included in this step. I know rules can make life feel rigid, but if you want to be healthy and to have progress in your goals, you need some structure. Your list of must-do tasks might look something like this: 8 hours of sleep per night, reading for 15 minutes a day, meditating 10 minutes per day. Once you have that list, make sure you have a good reason why you want to do each thing. You'll be more committed to doing something if you have a strong reason why. Step 2. Start planning your week. For this step, just enter into your calendar when you have to do certain things. For example, you know you have to go grocery shopping on Sunday at 10 a.m., so mark that down. You should also start putting down when you should do the habits or tasks that you must do from step 1, if it makes sense to do them at certain times of the day. For example, you know the best time for you to meditate is a few hours before you sleep, so mark that down on your calendar. This is so powerful because you'll know when you're free and when you have to do something. It lets you work within the confines of your week so you can focus on what's important to you. All the time that isn't blocked out is time you get to do whatever you want, which brings us to the next step. Step 3. Figure out the tasks you want to get done for the week. What do you want to get done this week? Spend time with friends and family? Work on your side hustle? A mix of both? Just make sure you aren't trying to do too much. When you try to do too many things, you'll end up burning yourself out. A good rule of thumb I like using is to base what you want to get done for the week on what you did last week. If you spent a lot of time working on your own projects last week, you can make sure you spend time with friends and family the upcoming week if you want a balanced life. It's up to you in the end, because some people like to grind and work non-stop for weeks, and then have weeks where they fully relax, while other people like to have a mix of work and fun every week. Once you know what you want to get done, mark it down on your calendar. Step 4. Make sure you have blocks of time where anything can happen. I mentioned before how rules can make life seem rigid, and if you already filled up your schedule with all kinds of things, you won't have any room to be spontaneous. At this point, you should have a good idea of how your week will play out. Look over your schedule and make sure you have times where anything can happen. Leave room to be spontaneous. When that time comes, you can continue working on what you were doing in the previous hours, or do whatever you want. If you find that your schedule is already packed, you might not have time to be spontaneous, and that's fine. It's more important for you to get your prioritized tasks done. One thing to note is that this step can be skipped. If you're the type that likes to have everything planned out, you can just skip this step and make sure your schedule is filled with the tasks you want to prioritize. Step 5. Look over your planned schedule and make any final changes. It's also a good idea to get a sense of how rigid your week is going to be. Planning is important, but plans can easily fall apart. You might have planned your week out, but what will you do when a friend or family member messages you and wants to spend time with you? Are you going to restructure your schedule around them, or say no? For me, I have weeks where I am willing to reschedule my week just to spend time with someone, while there are other weeks where I am focused on work and want a rigid schedule. If work is a high priority for you that week, it's likely better to be rigid and have everything planned out and reject any spontaneous invitations. If work isn't a high priority that week, make sure your schedule is flexible so you can restructure it if any invitations come up. If you followed the guide, you should now have a fully planned week that suits your priorities. I find that the best time to plan your week is usually on Sunday evening, but you should find a time that works for you. This isn't a one-time thing you should do. If you want to organize your life and have time to do as many of the things you want, you should plan your week every week. If you're feeling extra lazy, you should at least figure out what you want to get done that week. Have you ever planned your week? Leave a comment below and check out the video shown on the end screen on how to take back control of your life if that's something you're struggling with.